Good morning to Miss Shusha. My name is Kabilan and my student ID is SUKD2001200. Today, the company that I've chosen to present is Apple Company. First of foremost, I would like to go through the contents that we're going to discuss. The content will be company introduction, cultural values of Apple, explicit and tacit knowledge of the company, and also the core competencies. Let's move into the first content, introduction. So, Apple is an American corporation that develops and sells computer electronics, software, personal computers, and also portable devices internationally. The founders were Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Royal Wayne, established Apple in 1976 with its incorporation in 1977. Apple has a history that spans over 30 years, and during that time, the company has experienced its up and downs in financial performance. It was after 2007 when Apple financially achieved widespread success with the launch of the iPhone. The mission of Apple is committed to bringing the personal computing experience to individuals around the world through its innovative hardware, easy to use software, and sleek product design. Besides, their goal and objective is to provide customers with high quality services with a knowledgeable sales staff and also to bring best user experience to customers through its innovative products and technologies. Let's move into the next slide. Okay, these are the Apple founders, Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. Let's move into the next slide. Okay, there are 4 layers of cultural value that we're going to talk about. That is values, belief, behavior, and paradigm. Next slide. Firstly, the values of Apple. Steve Jobs gives an inspiring talk about the core values of Apple and more importantly himself. Steve Jobs was discussing about new campaign which is Think Different and talk about how Apple needs to change its marketing strategy to one which emphasizes on its core value. He went on to talk about how Apple's core value was to honor people who think and they can change the world with their passion. Apple's core value is not the Think Different campaign. Its core value is to make the best product in the market and focus on the selected product so that they can develop and innovate. Next slide. Next will be belief. Apple belief. They believe that we are on the face of the earth to make great products, and also they believe in the simple and not the complex. And also they believe that we need to own and control the primary technologies behind the product that we make. Next slide. The third cultural value will be behaviors. Apple organizational culture has moderate combativeness. This feature is linked to Steve Jobs and his combative approach to leadership. He was known to randomly challenge employees to ensure that they have what they takes to work at Apple. However, under Tim Cook's leadership, the company has been changing its corporate culture to a more sociable and less combative one. Nonetheless, combative remains a major influence in the technology business. Apple's corporate culture exhibits a moderate degree of combativeness that present challenges that motivate employees to enhance their output. Next, Next will be paradigm. For a long time, only the Apple faithful embraced and understood what Apple is trying to achieve. Lately, however, there has been a cultural sea change of favor towards Apple, according to Linda Kenny at Wired magazine. Next, let's look into the cultural web. Okay, let's go into the next slide. Okay, story. The story of Apple began with Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, who founded Apple Computer. on April 1, 1976, with the intention of changing how individuals perceive their computer. And also, Jobs and Wozniak wanted to create machines that were tiny enough to fit in people's homes or office. Next slide. Next will be symbol. The, the Apple sign or symbol, as well as the Apple computer emblem, represent knowledge. This is one of the oldest and most powerful symbols in Western mythology. Apple usage of the logo is incredibly effective. Their name and the matching graphic emblem are interchangeable. They both say Apple. Next. Next will be the power structure. Apple employs a corporate structure known as functional organization. This indicates that the organizational of the corporation is based on areas of competence rather than particular goods. Individuals from various fields of expertise and then assigned to work on the items. Organizational structure of Apple is Apple's organization structure is hierarchical and functional. The late Steve Jobs, the company's creator and previous CEO, created such a structure to ensure the concentrated fulfillment of his revolutionary idea and clear vision for the firm. Next is control system. Apple's organizational structure is hierarchical and functional. The late Steve Jobs, the company's creator and previous CEO, created such a structure to ensure the concentrated fulfillment of his revolutionary idea and clear vision for the firm. Okay. Next will be the rituals and routines of Apple. Apple creates, manufactures, and sells smartphone, laptops, tablets, wearable, and accessories, as well as a variety of connected devices and services. For example, iPhone, iMac, Mac, iPad, iPods, Apple TV, Apple Watch, and Beats devices are among the company's offering. Okay, next, let's go into the explicit knowledge. The explicit knowledge of Apple is their training is extremely important for Apple company. Apple being hired, Apple workers get ongoing training for organizations like Apple, brainstorming, innovation, new ideas, and new technologies are critically essential keys. Apple company genuinely recognize that in today's corporate environment, good administration strategies provide a competitive advantage. Next is tacit knowledge. Tacit knowledge is the story of Steve Jobs demonstrated how the link between components of knowledge, tacit and theoretical, impacts the creativity process. This is elites several empirical suggestions for the future investigation, such as how the many knowledge parts that comprise the manager's perspective might be exploited and how they combine, evolve, and solidify during the radical innovative process. Next, next will be core competency. Apple's main core competency is innovation. They have a long history of developing unique and innovative technology products, including the Mac computer, iPod, iPhone, iPad, Apple TV, and Apple Watch. Even when it's not the first company to develop a new product, Apple is often the one that's able to take a new product, engineer in its new unique way or unique fashion, and make it an enormous commercial success. Even when it's not the first company to develop a new product, Apple is often the one that able to take a new product, engineer in a new fashion, and make it an enormous success. Next. So this is my references. And next. Okay, thank you. That's all from me.